Fighting. What was the update? Because mine didn't update.
Here, this is Carolyn. It's there. Carolyn.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
That's kind of a surprise. A little bit.
Yeah.
Did you? All right, I apologize. We're running a little late, so I'll call the meeting to order for the June 24th, 2025 Elkhart Community Schools regular board meeting. Call to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I feel like I'm doing a lot today. The Elkhart Promise. Every student is known by name, challenged, and supported by highly effective staff, and in partnership with the community will graduate career, college ready, and life ready. And that is our Elkhart Promise. Our invitation to speak protocol. We have some tonight. For those of you who would like to speak, we already have some filled out. There's a little sheet here. Please fill it out. Put your name, organization you represent, and affiliation with the district. Once your name is called, please come to the microphone. You will have 3 minutes to speak on any agenda or non-agenda item. Please use this time to speak on issues that are not personnel or directly student related. As far as identifying any issues along those lines, this is not the proper venue for that. So with that, we'll move on to public comment. Thank you, Dora. First, public comment is Sarah Kasteman.
Good evening.
Evening.
I wait for the 3 minutes or it automatically goes.
Take advantage of it. Go.
Okay, here we go. All right. I'm used to addressing like a cafeteria of students or maybe a kitchen full of employees. So this is a little different setting, but what we're learning is to be flexible. So bear with me. Here we go. All right. I just would like some help and clarification, I guess, in what we're trying to do here with the food service transition. I accept absolutely that we have to make these changes in order for growth and progress, and I support it. And above thinking of all these things, I do believe that there's a lot of good to come out of these Chartwell's transition in far as like accountability. I'm a fan of that. I love rules. I love people that follow rules, and I love supporting rules. I think the uniforms are a great idea because I have seen in the past people come to work in sweatpants, and to me, that's just a little unprofessional. So there are things that I do support in the Chartwells taking over the food service, but in this, something I do not support is the loss of my sick time and my accrued PFI time. I fall in a category where I'm not able to retire, and I'm at 14 years and 7 months of service. And so I have 969 hours accrued. And if I total that out, that's about $26,000. And so I'm the CFO at my house, 25051 Shawn Drive. And we've done this budget check. And so that really doesn't fit in our budget to lose that, because what I've done is save that time for the future. And my mother-in-law would come over and watch the children when they were sick, because it was important for me in growth and progress to go to work, to support my staff, to support the students, and above all, to be one of those Elkhart Promise exceptional employees. So it was important to me. So kind of what I'm asking, as I'm running out of time watching that clock tick down, is I'm wondering if we make the certain exceptions for different groups of people, so the people that don't fall in the, it's clicking, in the retirement category, or the people that are almost vested, we're making an exception for them. What I'm asking is maybe for the people that have the 10 years vested and an accrual of over 500 hours, is there any way we could come to terms of maybe putting that 40% to our retirement? Or is there an acceptable number that we could agree on to put towards our retirement, so I don't feel like all of that is taken out of my pocket? I'm out of time. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Sarah. That was very good.
All right, just making sure that I made the appropriate notes. Shannon Stone.
Okay. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I am Shannon. I work for the food service department at Elkhart Schools. These past few weeks, I went over in my mind what I could say to you to change the situation, and ultimately I've came to the conclusion that there's probably not much. So I decided to go a different route. I did some research and I discovered that Subway is the #1 food chain located in the United States at 21,456 restaurants. But in reality, school cafeterias hold the #1 spot with roughly 95,000 cafeterias across the U.S. That means that we as food service employees for the schools help run the #1 food chain in the U.S., and we should do it proudly. This past school year alone, our elementary staff served 1,277,836 meals to our community. Our commissary made well over that in meals because that number does not include daycares or any other vended services. Our drivers delivered those meals, rain or shine, snow or ice. Our allergy department oversaw 392 students every day, making sure that they received a meal that they could eat. Catering worked hard every day and night, as well as weekends, for our community, and always stepping in when needed to help in the buildings. Middle school served 268,759. Bistro High School and freshmen served 477,870. In total, that is 2,024,465 meals in 180 days. I know that being part of the food service family is not always the most glamorous job, and that at times we feel looked down upon or unseen or unheard. You may feel as if we don't even matter, but you guys do matter. You matter to me, you matter to food service, and most of all, you matter to the children that you feed every single day. Kent Street, you have worked hard every day to make sure that kids are fed, food is delivered, meals are compliant, kitchens are staffed. And I once heard a speaker say that for every person that God has given you the right of leadership over, you will have the power to help, but to keep in mind that that is also the same number of people that you have the power to hurt. Fortunately, we were blessed to have Pam as our leader. One time she personally bought these pretzels for everybody across the school and staff for Hero Day. And they were broke. There were some that came in and they were broken. And I asked her, Pam, why don't we just hand those out as we're making these bags? Why don't we just hand those out to the staff? And she said to me, because I don't want one staff member to feel like they are not as important as the one who gets the one that is whole. And that meant something to me. It showed me how to be a leader. So I just want you guys to know that I am proud of who we are. Pam truly cares for her staff. She goes to battle for her staff. She appreciates her staff. She encourages her staff. And when she says to do something, we do it. We do it not out of fear, but out of respect for her and the job. So I only hope that I can be half of the leader that Pam has been. And I just want to thank you, all of food service, for the hard work that you put in every day. Know that I appreciate you and I will miss you. Thank you.
Angela Schwam? So, is that a C?
Yes.
All right. All right, good.
Okay, I will try to talk fast to get through this. Okay. All right, I'm Angela Schwam. I'm the food service secretary, and I've always been proud to be a part of ESC. I have met and worked with amazing people here in this corporation, and I've worked actually for Elkhart Community Schools since 2007. Started as a substitute teacher and kind of worked my way through. My sons are even alumni of Elkhart Memorial, so it says how long my children have been in school here. And I have to say, it breaks my heart with the lack of transparency and clear understanding during this transition for the food service outsourcing company. It's been eye-opening and unsettling for me, which is not my past experience with Elkhart Community Schools. Back in April, I was directed to create a spreadsheet for all the food service questions and concerns. And as a staff, we were excited that we were going to get our answers. Out of 15 questions, 3 questions were answered with very little information or insight. As employees, we rely on our income to provide for our families, and being left in the dark is very unsettling and scary. Not receiving answers to our questions just furthered our fears and worries about securing our employment with an outsourced company. Not only were our questions or concerns not answered, but at the meeting held on June 12th, Kent Street was not even a part of the outsourcing schedule, which then furthered our concern that we're not a part of the plan. We're not a part of the outsourcing need and security that we were promised. In the email that was emailed to me, it stated they don't label positions as 9 or 12-month roles. Instead, assignments are based on program needs such as catering or summer feed. I am a 12-month employee, and as that is also 23 roughly other food service employees, we basically would lose our 12-month status. We would only be able to work in the summer as needed. I count every bit that I earn towards supporting my household. That would take a huge deficit for me to transition to Chartwell's. And as well as that, I would also lose I have 837.5 PFI hours. I receive 96 PFI days, plus my 2 FI days, plus my 3 weeks vacation, all lost to only receive 6 holidays, 5 sick days, in which I'll be pointed for as I use them. Another concern is we were incentivized to be able to move to Chartwell's by receiving our PB banked time. Because I'm not choosing to go to Chartwell's, I will lose that as well, which seems unfair because I worked hard to receive that time. I came to work, I was always here, I was reliable, and now because of that, I will lose that as well. But I will say ECS could have done just a much better job of communicating to us what the vision was, what was going to happen, so that we wouldn't be in the dark and have so much fear and only have 13 days to decide what to do for our future and how will it affect us. So I just ask that please do better, ECS. You have amazing, amazing staff here, and please do well by them.
Diana Carr.
Good evening. My name is Diana Kari, and I'm an employee with food service. On June 13th, I reached out to question what the best way was to contact the board. I was informed that I could send an email and that it would be forwarded on to all of you. That same day, I sent an email, and to this day, not one of you has acknowledged receiving that email. A simple response with "I received the email" would have been appreciated. So that is why I'm here today, so that I can voice my concerns, my disappointments on how the district handled the outsourcing of the food service department, as well as the disservice they have done to the employees that have been here for years. I understand and respect the hard decisions you all have to make to balance the district's budget while being fair to the taxpayers with minimal disruption to the students. However, when making decisions like this, you should take into consideration the hardworking employees who have dedicated countless hours to serve the district and the students who attend it. I have been an employee since August of 2011. I have 1,248 hours of sick time and 14 days of banked PB days. I have accumulated this time because I showed up. I was here for the students, the staff, my coworkers, and the district. Yes, ECS has offered to pay the banked PB days if I would go with the other company. However, there was no lateral job movement available, and I would also go from a 12-month employee to a 9-month. This earned time is a benefit we've worked for, and it should be honored equally and fairly across all impacted employees, regardless if they choose to be employed by the new company or moving on to other opportunities. Up until this point, we have been dedicated employees and should be treated equally. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, but you're good.
A spreadsheet was kept and the questions were not answered. Either no one would or could answer those questions. We deserved answers to know how to proceed with our lives. Answers to these questions could have eased some of the worries that people felt. It may have been presented to you all that we would get a 5% increase, but when we go from a 12-month to a 9-month employee, that is not the case. How would this impact your family? And if you were in my position, what would you choose to do? For myself, I've chosen to pursue a different opportunity, but considering all that I've just stated, I don't feel that I should be punished for not getting paid for what I worked for. I am asking that all employees be treated equally. Thank you.
All right, that's all I had for public comment. Thank you. Excellence of Elkhart, Wendy.
Thank you, President Scott, members of the board, Dr. Huff, community members. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share highlights in the areas of academics, arts, and athletics. This past week, students attended the Elkhart Area Career Center's Camp Innovation, explored a variety of hands-on engineering challenges. Students experienced everything from electrical circuitry, 3D printing, and robotic arm operations. Westside Middle School's academic excellence extended far beyond the local level. A group of students recently competed in a National History Day finals in Washington, D.C. As part of the competition, students created displays and presentations highlighting key moments in U.S. history, which were reviewed by a panel of judges on a national stage. Students on the Earth Science Colorado trip explored the natural beauty of geology of the region through experiences such as a hike to the Mesa Summit and a visit to the Ouray Hot Springs. In the area of arts, this past week, Elkhart High School's choir director, Jeff Reinert, spent time working with some of the state's best student vocalists, including several Elkhart High School students, as they prepared for the upcoming Indiana All-State Jazz Choir performance later this month. For athletics, Elkhart High School's incoming sophomore, Ben Divido, wrapped up an impressive season by finishing tied for 12th place at the IHSAA State Golf Finals, helping the Elkhart Lions secure 13th place overall in the state. Last week, the Elkhart community came together to celebrate our two-time state champion unified track team. Athletes and coaches shared stories about their hard-fought season, and at the end of the celebration, attendees had the chance to have a team portrait signed by the athletes. Elkhart High School's cheerleaders and football players are making an impact this summer, showing leadership as they work with younger students to build skills and share their Lion pride. Cheerleaders led the annual elementary cheer camp, while football team members helped out at the Goshen College COE camp. We're excited to see the athletes supporting and inspiring the next generation of Lions. Future happenings. July 25th will be our first annual Elkhart football night. As always, please be sure to follow our district and social and school social media pages as we share each day at the excellence of Elkhart schools.
Question.
Yeah.
The first annual football night, what all is going to take place? What's
I-
the agenda look like?
What I understand, it's going to be all grade levels of football will be present, but I don't have all those details yet. Yep.
Thank you, Wendy. Next on the agenda, we have the consent items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion or questions from the board regarding the consent items?
Yes, I have our donations, which ended up tallying $6,800. And we received $1,960 from the to the Elkhart Athletic Club for Unified Track, their expenses. And then Walsh Packaging donated $2,500 for the Girls and Boys Golf Club, so that they could have new equipment and materials needed to continue growing on that, which they had a very successful season. And Hartzler Guttermuth Funeral Home donated $500, which we saw at the National History for their travel expenses. Premium Concrete, once again, donated $1,000 for the development of our football team. And Crossroads Community Church of the Nazarene gave $350 to the Pirmaran Charge to Mind. Bellini Farms, which I thought this was a really interesting one to read. They donated $500, and it said it was a thank you gesture for the excellent service provided on the Farms International truck. So that donation is to be used to grow our diesel program. So once again, we had $6,800. And may I say that I should have done this in the very beginning, but we usually do a moment of silence when we lose one of our own staff, and we did. We lost Yvette Wigfall at Pirmaran Language Arts. She had 8 years of service with us. So if we could just, take a moment of appreciation for her family. Which we're very thankful for her and very sorry for her loss. We heard some of the food service employees speak, but looking at our retirements, we had 142 years in total with multiple food service commissary staff that are leaving our school system after many years of service, and we're so thankful for them. And we had Linda Coghorn at Pirmaran School, Jenny Green at Cleveland, Pam Peterson at Feeser, Valerie Ron at our commissary department, Rebecca Shuley at the freshman division, Missy Svolin at Westside, Dimple Ware was an administration secretary at food service, Marlene Worthington at Westside. And we also say farewell to somebody who is very dear, who I didn't realize until I looked at how many years of service, Jason, you're leaving, 7 years, but I'm thankful for all your service that you did, and also to another employee that we have that is going. But anyways, I thank you for that, Jason, because you actually, I want to just tell you how much I appreciate you, because you taught me a lot in these 7 years about technology, and I'm sorry if I challenged you. But in the meantime, we appreciate all of our staff, and you heard some stories there, but we're thankful for all of our children that have been served by many of our members in our school system. So that's that.
Thank you.
Welcome. It's a positive thing, gang. It's positive.
Anybody else? All in favor of the consent items?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have old business. Mr. Thorne, Board Policy 3422.12S, Employee and Miscellaneous Positions Compensation Plan.
Thank you. Good evening, President Scott, members of the board, Dr. Huff. This evening, the administration is recommending approval of the following proposed revisions to the compensation plan for this employee group. The first position would be a new position entitled the Food Service Specialist, FSMC Oversight. This individual will serve as our liaison between the business office and our food service management company. This individual is responsible for ensuring that food service management company adheres to all of the contractual requirements set forth in our agreement, as well as compliance with all of the various federal, state, and local regulations related to child nutrition programs, financial accountability, and effective vendor performance in the support of our district nutrition program goals. In addition, we are including within the salary range the project director for the full service community schools grant. As noted, this is a grant funded position. And finally, converting the compensation method used for the manager of community and family engagement from an hourly rate to a salary wage range. This change will not result in any increase to the total annual compensation allocated for that position. Happy to answer any questions you may have related to these proposed revisions. And again, we're seeking approval this evening.
Oh, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any questions regarding this board policy from the board? Hearing or seeing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. On to new business. I guess it's a resolution.
Yes. This evening, the administration is recommending approval of a proposed resolution regarding the certification of electoral districts. Indiana school districts, including Elkhart Community Schools, with school board members who are elected from specific electoral districts, are required to review those districts following each decennial census in order to determine whether any adjustments are necessary. In compliance with this requirement, Elkhart Community Schools conducted a review of its electoral districts in October 2021. Following this review, it was determined that no changes to district boundaries were needed, and this decision was communicated to the Elkhart County Clerk of Courts at this time. However, during last year's legislative session, the General Assembly passed revisions to Indiana Code Section 3-5-10.10-7.1. This new provision now requires formal recertification of that determination, even if no changes to districts were necessary, which was the case for Elkhart Community Schools in 2021. Our purpose in presenting this resolution is to meet this requirement under the statute, and we are asking for your approval of that resolution this evening. Be happy to answer other questions you may have related to this proposed resolution.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion or questions from the board regarding this resolution? Seeing or hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Thorne. Next, under new business, Mr. Quiet, we have 1028 projects and additional appropriation hearing.
Yes, good evening, President Scott, School Board, and Dr. Huff. Tonight, we are holding an additional appropriations hearing for the issuance of a 2025 taxable general obligation bond. This bond, it's a taxable bond permissible through the state to reimburse previous expenditures of a capital nature that the district has spent. And so it allows us to capture dollars on roofing projects and other bus purchases, things of that nature that fall under those categories, and to reimburse ourselves. The reason we're proposing this today is, as we've shared in past meetings, we've continued to spend down our cash balance. This is a financial mechanism that will allow us to extend that runway, if you will, of cash reserves for the district as we work diligently to continue to reduce the spend. As we've shared, revenue is not the primary driver of this. It's our own expenses that we've seen over the years as we work to benchmark those, and this will give us a little bit more time to realize some of those savings that we've started to put into place. As a reminder to the community, we've looking at the food service and the opportunities we have there should save us in the tunes of $500,000 to or more a year, and some transfers there. We're putting in time clocks to help to manage personnel costs. And we continue to evaluate our student to teacher and just staffing ratios in our buildings to make sure that we're providing the resources necessary to provide the best opportunities for our students every day at Elkhart Community Schools. And so this bond, this will allow us the opportunity as we get closer to the end of the school year or the calendar year to evaluate where our cash balance stands and the ability to have a one-time infusion, if you will, of cash to have a prudent and responsible level of cash reserve for the school district. I will emphasize this is not a long-term solution to offset some of that spending. The hard work still needs to be done to reduce the spending that the district is doing, but this does give a bit of a softer landing, if you will, as we look to realize the savings that the school board and the district are working so hard to achieve. So being a public hearing, we'd be required to open that to public comment if there is any.
Great. I should have done that. So if I will suspend our board meeting at this time and open up a hearing for the public hearing on the additional appropriations for 1028. Anybody in the audience that would like to comment or make or have any questions on this appropriation, now is your time to please step forward to the mic. Seeing or hearing none. Do we need, is this the only one, Zach, that we need to leave it open for the hearing? I'm looking through the resolutions.
I don't believe so. The additional appropriations, we already had a hearing on. It's just an adjustment. Yeah.
So given the opportunity, seeing or hearing nothing from the public, do I have a motion for the approving of the 2025 issuance of 1028 issuance of bonds?
When you ask that, are we going ahead and making a motion on all three at once, or are we doing
No.
individuals?
We're going to do it
Okay, we're gonna do it
individually.
individually,
So this
okay.
the first one. Yeah, I want to be clear. The first one is the approval of the resolution approving the 2025 issuance of the 1028 projects, issuance of bonds and reimbursement and related matters.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Now, do I have any questions or concerns regarding this issuance?
I'd just like to make a couple comments. This is not where obviously we want to be. It's an avenue that we can use to help us. I think there's been an immense amount of work that's been done by Dr. Huff, his leadership team, Zach, and the financial office, as far as reviewing contracts, processes, procedures, looking at where money is being spent, how it's being spent, and reining some bad decision-making in. I find it a little frustrating that we're at this point, but we're at this point. And so I think we have to do this. As I've conveyed to people, we have to get our spending under control. We have very difficult decisions that are going to have to be met. Nobody's going to like them, but that's where we find ourselves. We are a district that is making some really big strides in some big areas. We have a ways to go, and this is part of the bumpy part of that. So while I'm a little frustrated at the point of having to do this, because I look at this as using a credit card, that I understand this is going to help us temporarily, and to get us to a point to be able to realize some of the savings. But I want to make clear that as a district, we are rebuilding our district, and there's a lot that goes into that. And I think people need to understand where we are. It's not easy, but we've seen some great things happen under this leadership team with the success of our kids and their learning. And we've got to take some time to focus on the backside that people don't like to talk about much. And so I will support this in this case, but I think the community needs to understand there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we are trying to manage, and put this district back on top where it belongs.
Any other comments from the board? Before we vote, I think I do need to close the public hearing.
I'm being advised that we should have a second, allow comments on the A, B, and C additional appropriations. So if you'd like me to cover that briefly, I can
Please,
share some background on
while
that.
we're still,
Yes. So the reason for the additional appropriations on the A, B, and C 2025 bonds, as a reminder, those were the bonds that we've already approved and sold through for the middle school move. The reason for the additional appropriations is the way that those were bought in the open market was there was a premium paid on those bonds. And so when we approved a $6.6 million appropriation, that's just the rough round number. There's actually an addition, there's a little more available to the school corporation to spend to stay under the controlled project scope. And because of that premium that the borrower or the purchaser paid on that, we are now able to increase the appropriations by, I think it's roughly $4,000 per bond issuance. So not a ton, but an extra $16,000 to $17,000 that can be spent as we're looking to remodel those middle schools and get them ready for our sixth graders to enjoy those spaces. And so that would be the reason, I guess, as a side note, a reason for this, the dollars that the bond purchaser paid, it allows them to post it, when they go to sell in the market at a different interest rate. We secured that at a 3.8%, but because they paid this premium, they can report it on their books as a different rate of return as they go out to the market and try to sell those bonds, and that's how they're making their money on that, right? So that's the reason for it. But we do need to have the board and make sure that the public has opportunity to make comment on those additional appropriations of $17,000 roughly.
okay, thank you. So at this time, since we're still in public hearing, is there anybody that would like to make a comment or have questions regarding the resolution to increase the additional appropriation of the 2025 A, B, and C bond proceeds and interest earnings and related matters? Seeing or hearing none, is there anything else that we need to discuss while we're in public hearing? No? So we can close it?
Yes, thank
All
you.
right. At this time, I will close that and reopen, unsuspend our board meeting and go back to our official board meeting so we can take action. So we have a motion on the table for the resolution approving the 2025 issuance of the 1028 issuance of bonds, reimbursement, and related matters, and we have a second. Do we have any questions or comments regarding that before we vote from the board? Hearing or seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. And now I will ask for a motion on the resolution to increase the additional appropriations of the 2025 A, B, and C bond proceeds and interest earnings and related matters. Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and I have a second. Do I have any questions or comments regarding this resolution from the board? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. And now, Mr. Quiet, we have the resolution for the approval of additional appropriation of bond proceeds and interest earnings and related matters. The second one. Well, yeah, third one.
Third one.
Yes. So this would be the increase of the additional appropriations for the A, B, and C. We would also need an appropriations approval for the 2025 taxable GO that we worked through. So I would say the one we just approved would have been for the taxable GO, and now we can approve the A, B, and C additional appropriations of that $17,000 for the middle school renovation bonds that we sold.
Yes,
We're doing the appropriation for the A, B, and C.
we just did that.
And then the other appropriations that we're asking for in addition is on that 2025 GEO bond that, yes, so
That
we would need that
That
motion.
was, we didn't,
Yes.
that's the one we missed.
We didn't do that wasn't this here? We didn't do the GEO bond on this one?
That's the first one. No, that's just the hearing. So this is the first one we did.
That's the GEO bond.
That's the GEO bond.
So what are we doing now?
So then we have to do the, we
No,
have to
we're
do
on
the
number-
additional,
we're on
this was a
you guys,
resolution, now we
We're
have
on
to do the
number 3 right
appropriation.
now. We have not done the third motion. We need a motion for the third resolution. That's the A, B, and C. So Troy, go ahead. No, we haven't done the third one yet. We haven't done the third one. We have only done 2. We need to do the third one. So who's going to motion the third one? Motion. Okay, second? Thank you. Okay, now.
Just out of I need some clarification.
Yes. So
I'll go, so if you go into the agenda, we have the 1028 projects and additional appropriation hearing, which we entered into.
Correct.
First resolution was the approving of the 2025 issuance of 1028. And then we have a second resolution following that one that I believe we did not address.
correct, and that additional appropriations of the GEO bond.
Right.
Correct.
That's-
So we would need to, and correct, that's the one we did not address yet, I believe.
Right. We did address the A, B, and C.
Correct.
Okay.
Where we're at right now.
No, so
Skip the middle one.
the middle one. So we need to do the GEO bond, the approving additional appropriations of the GEO bond proceeds and interest earnings and related matters.
Yes.
That is what I need a motion for.
So moved.
I have a motion and I have a second. Do I have any discussion or comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The last resolution is approval of approving the appointment of a treasurer.
Yes, thank you, President Scott, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Huff. The school board is recommending the approval of Ms. Rhonda Ross as the district treasurer, effective July 1. She will take over the duties that I currently hold at Elkhart Community Schools. I'm excited to have Ms. Ross on the team. She comes with a lot of experience, both in the classroom and outside. She holds a teaching certificate, a principal's license, her CPA, MBA, and a JD. And Ms. Ross is here with us if she like to.
The benefit to this also is that she's completely up to date on all of these resolutions. So if there's ever any questions or anything, she's walked hand in hand with Mr. Quiet. So she's thoroughly prepared if in the future anybody has any questions about these resolutions. Our new partner here can handle those questions and take care of them.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, President Scott, Board of Trustees, Dr. Huff, and the community. I'm honored to be with you tonight, and I would like to introduce myself formally to the community. My name is Rhonda Ross. I'm currently serving as the Assistant CFO here at Elkhart Community Schools. I have been shadowing Zach and working with him closely over the past 5-6 weeks. It's been a pleasure getting to work with the ECS team and the business office as well. With that said, I look forward to moving onward with the initiatives already started by the superintendent and the CFO to face the challenges ahead. And some of our business office initiatives include remaining responsible stewards of public funds, including working towards continuous improvement, specifically continuous improvement of internal controls, cross-departmental collaboration to find more efficiencies, all with the goal of supporting our schools so they can improve student outcomes and move the needle. So thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion appointing the appointment of treasurer?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and I second. Do I have any questions or comments from the board at this point?
Thank you. You're welcome.
Looking forward to Rhonda, but missing you.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Do we, I've noticed council has stepped outside. Could you check on them just to make sure procedurally we followed everything? I get nervous when 2 or 3 attorneys get up and walk to the hallway.
Good. I've confirmed that they feel that we're okay. They've conferred, and we have the resolutions that we need to move forward. So good to proceed.
Thank you. Transparency is certainly what we strive for here. So we want to make sure that we are doing everything above board. And if there was any questions or we had a misstep, we would certainly want to correct it and correct it now. So thank you for checking on that. Next on the agenda, financial report.
Yes. This will look familiar. Again, so this is through May, close of May, where we stand at Elkhart Community Schools. Again, you will notice our largest expense continues to be people. The education fund between wages and benefits is roughly 97%. As Mrs. von der Vellen pointed out, there's some tough decisions that will need to be made as we move forward as a district, but needed. Even if you cut the 3% remaining, that doesn't make the cuts needed to bring us back to the spending levels that we should be at. As we look at our consolidated cash funds, as a reminder, at our last month's board meeting, we consolidated our operating referendum fund and transferred the balance into the operations fund. You won't see the difference in this chart, that those dollars just moved within the funds that are already considered in this chart. But you will notice is that our cash balance is down to 4.9. This is the lowest it will be. We have already received our June disbursement of our local property taxes, which was $12.9 million. And so this is a trend of the cash flow that you will see because of the tax disbursement from the local county. As that comes through, it hits in June and December. So again, we're going to hit June and we'll see that start to tick back down. It will, we should start to see in September and October some of these cost savings that we've talked about starting to take fruition. And so again, as we look at getting into December, the green and the red line are a 10 and 15% cash balance to expenditures. And so just to give us an idea of what that prudent range would be, and we can continue to keep an eye on that as we move forward, and what that looks like for Elkhart Community Schools. Again, this is an important time, a critical time in which some tough decisions will need to be made to correct this. And we've put a lot of things in place, and I'm proud of the work that we've done to address some of these. And I think that we will start to see that trend reverse. And I'm confident that with the school board, Dr. Huff's leadership, and the team that we have here at ECS, that this will be realized. So this concludes my financial report. If there's any questions, I would be happy to answer those.
Any questions for Mr. Pratt from the board? Seeing or hearing none, thank you for the financial report. We'll move on to the insurance report.
Yes, so the insurance update through May, we've seen an 80% loss ratio. The month of May, we did see a bit higher of loss ratio than we have in the past, which is why you see that increase to 80. I think we were at 70 last month. some really neat opportunities. As you know, we've moved brokers to help engage with communication and education with our staff to better understand our plans. One of the offerings that we brought on was Sumas, and they provide some bit of a concierge service, specifically through some more difficult or challenging medical times. Usually you don't need your medical plan until it's an emergency, and it's nice to be able to provide some supports. And so Sumas has started collaborating with Marathon, which is our clinic that we also provide, so that we can start referring them to each other and building some synergy, for lack of that's a cringy term. Anyways, synergies between those two. And to better serve our staff, to better help them navigate the health plan that we do have available for them. And then Sumas is also offering a master class. We have access to 2 of those a year. This one focuses on cancer and kind of what you do and some things you can do to navigate a cancer diagnosis in those situations. Again, an opportunity for us to provide resources to our employees as they navigate these. It's also will build a knowledge base and something that they can come back to. So these are recorded, they're live with a local doctor that's going to talk about a specific issue. It will be recorded and kept in what our new website that has our benefits website. And so we're working hard with the Gallagher team to really build out a robust communication strategy around our health plan, because we put a lot of resources into that, and it's an important benefit for our staff, and we want to make sure that they know how to use it best. So it's been encouraging to see the progress that we've made in that with that change. And that concludes my insurance update.
Any questions or comments? I'll make one quick one. I do like the collaboration or the synergy between Sumas and the clinic. The clinic is a fixed cost alternative to primary care needs, and it really kind of sits in front of the health plan. And when you can marry those two together and educate the staff of when to use the clinic and when to go to the clinic to initially, and if you need to go to see a specialist, refer out and engage at that point with the benefits. But the fixed cost mechanism of the clinic is it is a money saver for us, and we're very fortunate to have a provider and a staff there that's been there for many, many years that do great quality work. And so this collaboration doesn't always happen with health plans and that have on-site or near-site clinics associated with them. So I'm glad to see that this is something that we're doing here and giving folks a full understanding of, when to seek care, where to seek care, the most effective way to do that, and the most cost-effective way, not only for the employees and their families, but also for the district. So thank you for starting that collaboration. Any other questions regarding the insurance? Mr. Quiet, thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Huff, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Scott, members of the board. I first want to just say thank you to Mr. Giannessi and his team for all the work that they're doing to make sure that our kiddos are ready for middle school. Our middle school transition, our kids are transitioning to middle schools, that they're ready, up to date. I really appreciate the work that you and your team has done. You have really knocked it out of the park by making sure that not only are they going to enter refresh spaces, but you've done some really out of the box thinking with your team. So I just want to say thanks. If you go around and you go into those buildings, they may not look like they're going to be ready to go on August 15th, but they certainly will be. So I just want to say thank you to you and to your crew. Also, we have students who are in summer school at all levels. So this is the last week for summer school in Elkhart Community Schools. We have our 2nd and 3rd graders who are going to be taking the iRead assessment. I know all of them are going to knock it out of the park because they have to. You could have laughed on that one, but that's fine. No, it's not. That's not real if you have to ask. But no, I want to say thank you to the leadership and to the teachers who are helping to serve those kiddos, particularly in grades 2 and 3. a kid needs an educator's confidence every once in a while, and I think they have the right people that are in front of them to help them to do great on that assessment. Last and certainly not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to some of my colleagues and from this building who will be transitioning away from the hectic night of board meetings at 7 o'clock. No, Barb, don't look at your watch. And they'll be going to do whatever they want to do in life. I think the greatest gift you can get in life is to spend time with your family and your loved ones, and because every moment counts. But as a newer superintendent, which is kind of wearing off, obviously, I think it's important that you really acknowledge the people that helped you to grow into your seat, to become a little bit more confident into what you do. So I just want to say a personal thank you to all of you who are moving off the district leadership team, but you're leading in life. There are kids who are in college because of the words that you or the experiences that you provide them. There are kids who are going to come back tomorrow because of the things that you have shared with them over time. So I won't personally single you all out, but you all know who you are, who've made a difference, and your legacy in Elkhart is established forever. You will have people talking about you for years and years. In some cases, they'll be talking about you for years and years because they need to, because they heard you cussing through a door. But anyway, these are some of my favorite. I have so many stories to share about just how much these individuals have really not just helped me personally, but will do anything for our school district. Elkhart is a better place because you chose to work here. They're a better place because you will continue to support, to share facts about our school district, and also to tell people, hey, we have the premier school district, I think, in Northern Indiana. And it's because, you know what, I lived and I worked there. So I just want to say thank you to all of you, and also enjoy this as your last board meeting. You are more than welcome to come back. Keep it at 3 minutes. We appreciate you if you do. But I just want to say it's been an honor, and this year and a half has really flown by. So as we welcome, as they are going off into whatever they choose to do. I also think at board meetings it's important to acknowledge all the people who choose to work at ECS as well. We have quite a few people who, over the last few weeks, have chosen to come and work in an outstanding organization. And I think that that's a testament to not only to the school system, but to their colleagues recommending them to work here too. So I just want to say thank you. If you're on the board report tonight, we're glad to honor you on day one of your journey as well. So we look forward to seeing you as you come and serve children also. So with all that being said, I want to turn it back over to you, President Scott, but thank you to those cabinet members. You know who you are.
Thank you, Dr. Huff. Anything from the board this evening? No? Okay. Well, right at 8 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.